Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
I am pushing out bits just about every minute of every day, constantly, gigabytes and gigabytes of data. Not necessarily downloading, but uploading specifically when I stream live video and audio over my regular home connection, and I'm sure I'm breaking some terms of service somewhere down the line. Zedlos, a community member at large and a frequenter of live.pirillo.com, writes in with this question. Hey Chris, do you know of any way to know how much bandwidth I use? Is there some kind of program that will keep track of my usage? This might also help people who have a bandwidth cap and will get overcharged if they go over their limit. And how do you feel about ISPs capping bandwidth usage? Well, to answer your first question in terms of monitoring bandwidth, there are tools built into Windows. I wouldn't say they're the easiest to use or necessarily the easiest to discover, and they're not always the most specific in terms of the traffic that you're driving out to the internet. However, there is a free, or shall I say open source utility called Free Meter. That's one word, Free Meter, and you can download it, at least for Windows, and it will tell you how much you've downloaded, how much you've uploaded, the time elapsed from when you started counting to that time, the average download speed, the average upload speed. You can enable logging, and you can set that for different intervals. It'll run in the system tray, the icon will, with your download and upload speeds. I mean, it's a wonderful utility for keeping an eye on what happens to be going on with your internet connection, not just pushing out but pulling in. That'd be pushing out would be uploading, and pulling in would be downloading. So that's one way of monitoring. Now, in terms of how I feel about bandwidth capping, well, now here in my house, I'm not for any kind of capping whatsoever. Give me as much as you can, but in terms of my entire leg of the network on cable, well, I believe in capping wholeheartedly. Because, I mean, imagine this. Imagine there's a guy who lives next door who's pushing out live audio and video, and he's sucking down all the bandwidth available to your leg of the network. I mean, that would kind of suck, wouldn't it? I mean, not like people stream live audio and video on the net on a regular basis, do they? Well, yeah, so capping generally is a good thing. It sets limits and restrictions on users so that they don't abuse the system. Of course, the corollary, might be having a system set up so that I could buy more bandwidth if I want to, and unfortunately it doesn't exist. So I would be more for the idea of capping if there was the ability to tier beyond just these restrictions that I've been given. If I upgraded to a business class line for Comcast, I would possibly get more download speed, but I would definitely get more upload speed, a better upload, but my download speed wouldn't necessarily improve with what I've currently got in place now, so I really haven't felt the need to upgrade. I'd pay twice as much to get faster connectivity to the internet. Unfortunately, I am not serviced by Verizon. I'm in a Quest area, which totally sucks on a million different levels. Yeah, that's disappointing. But, in terms of bandwidth capping, I'd say it's generally a good thing. If you want to pay for more bandwidth, I believe you should be given that opportunity to. But capping is generally put in place so that you don't abuse the system. I think Comcast going as far as capping any kind of BitTorrent usage, I think, is extremely questionable. Very concerning, considering I use BitTorrent frequently if I'm downloading a Linux distro. Many of them are only available by way of BitTorrent. In fact, that's how I downloaded an Ubuntu installation for VMware for use on VMware Fusion on my Mac, was through BitTorrent. It came in relatively quickly after a few tracker issues that other people were having when I asked them to check in the chat room. But capping is such a gray area. We all don't want it to be capped, but you have to look at it for the greater good. I mean, come on. I mean, if everybody was saturating your network connection, wouldn't that kind of suck? And it's more important for people on cable connections like myself rather than if I was on a DSL connection. It would be a completely different story. What is that, NetMeter? Oh, NetMeter. That's another utility. I think I remember NetMeter, actually. It's been a while. It's interesting. Free Meter doesn't monitor network usage in the free version. Well, it's open source, so you can take that code and you can run with it either direction. There you go. What are you going to do? Open source. You know, it's a wonderful thing. Maybe they've capped it. Oh God. Anyway, if you have any other suggestions for bandwidth metering, by all means, suggest away. Or if you have a point or an issue with capping of bandwidth, I'm sure you're going to throw your 2 cents into the jar. That's fine. I'm sure the thing to say is that capping sucks, but you know, you got to look at it from a practical point of view too. I just wish that I had the opportunity to buy more bandwidth. I would. I'm telling Comcast, I will spend more money with you if you offer to give me more. I'd do it. Wouldn't you? Would you not pay twice as much for double the speed upload or download? Wouldn't you do that? I'd do it in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Oh, I'd totally do it. I'd find the money. I would sell my kidneys, both of them, just to get double. Well, I probably wouldn't go that far. Would you? What? How far would you go to get twice the amount of internet speed to your? Well, let's see here. Oh boy, I probably opened up a can of worms there, a big Pandora's box. Well, anyway, no matter what kind of speed you have, you're welcome to swing by the chat room. It's great for dial-up users too, because it's just IRC. It's just plain text going back and forth. You don't have to watch me live streaming my video. You don't even have to watch this video. Forget about it. Just come by the chat room. We're there all day, all night, no matter your bandwidth speed, at live.pirillo.com. Will you later?